Hello, it's me. I promised I'd make a video today, so here I am. First, before we get into sort of like the meat of it, I've got some more interesting Japanese foods that I wanted to share, so let's dive right into that. The first is this, Kuro Goma Kurimu. It's literally black sesame cream. Sesame oil, sesame seeds are pretty common in Japanese cooking. A lot of people like to sprinkle sesame seeds on top of their rice and stuff. But this I saw in the store and I just thought it was like, it looks so bizarre. I'm going to see if I can't zoom in on the cover here. But you can see the picture just shows bread with a jet black cream. And that's really what it is. It is jet black cream. It smells good. It doesn't look appetizing, I don't think. I don't think black things, especially not black gelatinous things, look particularly appetizing. But I thought I would buy it just to try it out. It's oddly sweet and sour at the same time. That's the black sesame spread. Editing this down. Oh baby, you got what I need. And it's a bunch of black cream. It's a bunch of black cream. Look at this. That's just a jet black cream. That's what it is. The moment of truth. And by the moment of truth, I mean I've already eaten this, so it's really not. Yeah, tastes pretty good. That's that. Alright, now that I'm done thoroughly disgusting everyone, on to the next thing. Now this! Oh, I just burned my... Alright, so this next thing is something that I bought not just exclusively for the novelty factor, but also because it's more of a traditional Japanese snack, and that is hoshimo. Now, the Japanese word for potato is jagaimo, and the Japanese word for sweet potato is satsumaimo. Imo is like the word for like a tuber of some sort. So hoshimo is actually a dried sweet potato. I actually wasn't a huge fan of sweet potatoes back in the US. I mean, I liked them well enough, but something about the Japanese variety of sweet potato I actually like more than the sweet potatoes that I was used to in the US. It's sort of like a seasonal food. Japan, from what I've noticed so far, has a lot of seasonal foods that you'll find in the grocery store and the convenience store. A lot of seasonal foods, a lot of seasonal flavors. For example, fall, which is obviously what we're in right now, has sweet potato and kuri, which is a type of chestnut, kaki, which is persimmon. I think that's really cool. I think it's cool that they really take the seasonal foods seriously, and I think Japan does the seasonal foods a little bit better. Anyway, so we've got hoshimo, dried sweet potatoes. This word hoshi is used in hoshigaki, which is dried persimmons. This means to sort of like to dry, like sun-baked, I guess. So we've got some hoshimo, but here we go. So it's kind of sticky. You can sort of see there's a bit of a sheen to it. But yeah, it's a little sticky. Definitely chewy. And yeah, it's just sort of lightly sweet, and tastes good. I like it. If you've got like an Asian market that sells traditional Japanese food, go there and see if you can't find some legit hoshimo and try it out. It's tasty. Next on my list will definitely be hoshigaki, the dried persimmons, because I'm interested in that. Just rambling. Alright, so I'm going to have to make two different videos because I got a lot I want to talk about. All right, so I want to talk about a few things that have happened recently or are happening soon. The first is that this past Saturday I went to my junior high school's culture festival. I wanted to show this. This is the brochure. I'm going to cover up student names for privacy, but this is the program for the culture festival, and one of the students actually drew that, and I thought it was really good. You can see on the back side they've got more drawings. The whole thing is just like one big drawing, which is really cool because the students definitely put in a lot of work to make this, and the culture festival was a lot of fun. It started off with 3 English speeches, which I had been working on with my students to present. So that was cool. That kicked it off. After that, they did the Biblio Batoru, which is the Biblio battle. It was basically 7 people got up on stage and they argued for why we should read a particular book. I didn't understand a whole lot of that, I'm not gonna lie. In fact, I didn't understand a whole lot of the entire culture festival, but it was just sort of interesting to watch because it was so different, I think, than events in the US. After that, there were a whole bunch of little skits and performances by the 3rd year students. Just a brief note about how the Japanese school system works. So elementary school is 1 through 6th grade. Junior high school or middle school is 3 more grades after that. So the equivalent of 7th, 8th, and 9th grade in the US. And then high school is 10th, 11th, and 12th. Now in Japan, it's basically like you are elementary school 1st through 6th year, a junior high school 1st through 3rd year, or a high school 1st through 3rd year. So when I say the 3rd year students, we literally refer to them as the sannensei, the 3rd year student. Yeah, so the sannensei did a bunch of little performances. Some of them were good. Some of them, I think even the adults in the room were sort of scratching their heads wondering why they were doing what they were doing. But hey, you know, it was their sort of moment to shine. And it was cool to watch nonetheless. After lunch, so we had a break for lunch, and after lunch there was a chorus competition, and it started off with the entire 1st grade singing together, and then the entire 2nd grade sang together, and then the entire 3rd grade sang together, and then they broke it up into individual classes.
So it was like 1st year class 1, 1st year class 2, 1st year or 2nd year class 1, 2nd year class 2, 3rd year class 1, 3rd year class 2.
And they did a competition. So that was the Bunkasai, the culture festival. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Afterwards, the teachers and I went to a party, and that's always a good time. I always enjoy going out to eat and drink with the teachers. And I talked with some of the teachers about music, some of the younger teachers. We talked about Japanese music, Japanese rock music, because I know a couple of rock bands, so we talked about that. Food's always delicious, so that was a lot of fun, although my head hurt really bad the next day for reasons that should be pretty obvious. Next month, I have a Japanese speech competition that I'm participating in. So I've been taking a class every Saturday to learn Japanese. This is my textbook, Mina no Nihongo. I don't know if I've talked about this previously, but I probably have. Anyways, they asked me if I wanted to participate in the speech competition, and I said, sure, why the hell not? Big mistake. I had to write my own speech, and so I wrote my own speech in English, and then I was working with my teacher to translate it. And he kept asking me to write more stuff and more ideas and more stuff. And so at one point we had more than 3,000 characters, more than 3,000 Japanese characters. And so we had to cut it down to 1,500. So this is actually not the most current version, but as you can see, this is all Japanese. And I'm supposed to try to memorize / give this speech in a convincing manner. Speech competition is on the 14th, I think, Saturday the 14th. So I've got a lot of practicing to do before then, but my speech is all about the differences between Japanese and American schools. For example, in Japan, when you go to school, you've got to change your shoes, right? It's at the genkan, the entrance. I knew about that before coming to Japan, so I thought I was prepared. What I didn't know was that in order to go to the gym, to like participate in gym activities, you gotta have a separate pair of shoes for the gym. So I don't have gym shoes. You know, I've got outdoor shoes, I've got indoor shoes, but I don't have gym shoes. And I wrote this joke in here. It was like, well, this is a huge problem because I have big feet and I can't find shoes that fit me here in Japan. Or, you know, it's a little difficult. I know you can all speak Japanese. The joke starts off, これは大きな問題でした。
なぜなら私の足のサイズが大きいので、日本には私の足に合ったシューズがあったらず探すのに大変苦労した。
からです。That was a horrible reading, and I've got to somehow fix that. Honestly, it's way above my current Japanese level because it's all written like not super formal Japanese, but it's all in polite speech. And some of the grammar is just a little over my head. I can read it, but some of the grammar constructs I never would have been able to come up with by myself. So I really, really needed the help of my teacher to help translate. But, you know, I think it'll be fun. It'll be interesting to, you know, see how it goes. Another thing I've been up to recently is I'm trying to get into cooking a little bit more. Not really, but... So I bought a slow cooker. Yeah, I have a slow cooker. In the US, so I mean, it's no secret that I don't really like cooking all that much. I can cook a few things fairly well, but in the US, yeah, I definitely relied on the rice cooker, pressure cooker, slow cooker. Those were the tools that I reached for, I think, most often. And when I got here to Japan, I bought a rice cooker, a pan with no lid, and like one crappy spatula, and that was it. And also in the US, I ate a lot of salad because you just chop up the vegetables and you put the dressing on it. And that's kind of what I've been doing here in Japan. It was just eating a lot of salad and just like basic vegetables that I could saute up really quick. My kitchen is not really set up for cooking, but over the past month, in the month of October, I'd let my diet go to hell. Not really that bad. So I decided that the solution, especially going into winter where my activity level is going to be lower, is to try to make some more tasty food. And so I bought a slow cooker, and I'm going to go buy some other stuff. And I've been trying to learn a little bit about Japanese cooking. So that I can take advantage of the ingredients that are here. Because the thing is, I don't want to try and cook Western food here because I think it's going to be prohibitively expensive, or I'm just not going to find the same sort of things. So I'm going to try my hand at cooking Japanese things now. So yeah, so I'm trying to invest in a few more pieces of kitchen gadgetry to help me cook more delicious meals. But I've also just been researching Japanese cooking. You know, that means that I'm going to be dealing with miso. And this is what a kilogram tub of miso looks like. Kilogram is 2.2 pounds approximately. So this is miso, this is what it looks like when we talk about miso soup. Interestingly enough, I learned that miso soup is not just a bunch of miso dissolved in water. There's also a traditional Japanese stock called dashi, which is used as the base. I tried to make some kind of like soup the other night, and it definitely did not work. I just ended up with soggy, somewhat miso flavored vegetables, but it's all a learning process, you know? So that's what I'm working on these days. I'm working on the speech competition, working on trying to up my cooking skills just the tiniest bit, just this much, and working on learning more Japanese and taking advantage of all the school events and stuff. So I think that's pretty much it for this update. I hope everyone's doing well. Happy Halloween to everyone. We're coming into Thanksgiving time, so if anybody can ship me a turkey, let's do it. Anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.